Today on thedailyEco, we give you some tips on how to properly water indoor plants. Pay attention and take note. Methods of watering indoor plants. Watering is fundamental for the survival and proper development of your indoor plants. By carrying out proper watering, attending to the needs of each plant in terms of frequency and amount of water, the plant will look beautiful and grow correctly. There are different methods that can be useful for this task. Top watering. This technique involves pouring water directly onto the substrate using a watering can with a narrow neck. To do it correctly, pay attention to avoid water falling directly onto the leaves, as it could damage them. Bottom watering. This involves filling the saucer located under the pot so that the plant absorbs the water it needs through the drainage holes. Immersion watering. Immersion watering can be done by placing the pot directly into a deep container filled with water for 10 to 15 minutes. Then, you should remove it and drain the pot. This is the best method for plants in small pots or to revive a plant that has suffered excessive heat exposure and hasn't received an adequate water supply. In this sense, it's important to know that younger plants prefer the top watering technique, while those that have already developed prefer the bottom method. It's advisable to consult the characteristics and instructions of the plant before starting watering. Water temperature. It's always better to use room temperature water rather than warm or cold water. Remember that temperature extremes can be harmful to plant leaves, potentially causing serious damage. If you find that the water in the watering can is too cold or hot, let it temper for a few minutes before watering the plant. Before we continue, let's put you to the test. What's a common advantage of having indoor plants in the home? A. Reduction of oxygen in the environment. B. Increased stress and anxiety. C. Improvement of air quality. D. Higher energy consumption. Think carefully because at the end of the video, you can check if you got it right. Amount of water. Each plant has its own needs and characteristics. As a general rule, if the plant comes from a tropical region where it rains regularly, it will need a lot of water. On the other hand, those that develop in drier places, such as desert cacti, won't need abundant water. To know if you're doing it right, remember that if the plant's leaves look wilted, it's a sign that they need more water, although it's advisable to never let them reach this point. Therefore, by inserting a finger or a wooden stick into the soil about 2 centimeters deep, you can check if it's dry or moist. If it's dry, add more water. If there's excess moisture, you should reduce watering, as the roots could rot or mold and fungus could proliferate. Watering time. Although it may seem trivial, the watering time can also be decisive in the proper development of your indoor plants. Thus, it's preferable to water in the morning rather than at night, as any water splashes or drips that remain on the leaves will have more chance to dry and evaporate during the day, thanks to higher temperatures. If humidity remains on the leaf for a long time, there's a greater risk of the plant developing certain diseases, such as fungi. And going back to the question we asked you before, have you thought about it? The correct answer is C. Improvement of air quality. Tell us, are you going to use these tips to water your indoor plants? Until next time, Eco Warriors.